it's actually kind of something we always wanted to do anyway, and we've already done it, right? So we've had celebrities on different episodes over the past 12 years. We had Jeff Daniels in an episode, Fatone's been in an episode, Rosie O'Donnell was in an episode, Imagine Dragons were in an episode. So we've kind of done this throughout as part of the punishments, you know? So we just kind of like embrace that because we can't replace Joe. He's literally irreplaceable. So instead of trying and failing at doing that, we said, let's bring in a different celebrity guest as part of the punishment only to help torture us. You know, it's only the three of us that get punished. Although this season, Joey Fatone is going to be on an entire episode, and I am going to punish his ass for sure.
He's been semi-punished before. I think he stood up in his own restaurant one time and said, "My name's Joey Fatone, and I shit my pants," or something to that effect, right?
That's exactly it, yeah.
I've seen every episode a bunch. So it's one of the shows. I have a rotation of shows that I watch when I'm going to sleep at night. It just calms me down watching other people get trolled because that's all I really care about in life is trolling people.
What other shows are on the rotation, I wonder?
Rick and Morty's on there.
It's Always Sunny. So I can guess yours, I think. The Office, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Impractical Jokers, Rick and Morty, and then am I missing maybe Community for you or no?
I've never seen Community.
30 Rock.
30
That's
Rock.
it.
Yeah,
30
that's
Rock.
the other one.
30 Rock. Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a smart man's show, and I think the writing is so smart. That's why the ratings were never great for that show. But it's probably the best comedy writing close to in TV history. With you guys, I think Eric Andre is on the show this year. Is that true, or was that last season?
Yeah, he was on a few weeks ago on the episode. And coming up, we have an entire episode with Brooke Shields. We have Colin Jost, Method Man, Chris Jericho.
Colin's brother's on the show full time, right? He's one of your MCs, I guess.
Colin's brother, Casey, has been our secret weapon for 11 years now. He's been a writer on the show for many, many years, and now he's the director of our show, too.
Oh, he's the director. Wow. So I know he does I guess the after show kind of that you guys cut into the back end of the show. That's always, people love the BTS stuff, and he's pretty good at that. I mean, I didn't know he's the director now, though. That's great.
He's moving on up.
Moving on up in the world. With Eric Andre on the show, I met him in real life, and I went to a dinner with him. Is he always doing a bit, or is he just, what's his story working with him?
Yeah, can you imagine like being married to that dude and then like 3 years into it, he's just like, oh, just kidding, and a bunch of people with cameras come out of nowhere.
That's what it felt like, dude. I went to a dinner with him and he got super fucking high and he just goes, "Hey everybody, I'm really fucking high right now and I'm not sure that I can have this conversation with anyone." And it was just like, it was at a charity event and I'm like, all right, and like we didn't really talk to him that much and it was strange, but I didn't know if it was a bit and I was like, dude, I never know with that guy. How was it like working with him?
We've got along famously, all of us, but we also, I think, kind of speak the same language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's got a long-running hidden camera show, so do we. So, like, a lot of it was just, like, clicking on as to creatively how we make our shows, learning from each other. I had never met him before. I was a fan of the show. I've seen his movie and left my ass off, and I thought we really got along well. We were just instantly busting each other's balls. You know?
Yeah, it seems like a marriage kind of made in heaven. I mean, it's like two people doing something independently, and you put them together, and they do it well together.
Well, when you do that type of comedy, that style of comedy out in the public, you're always wondering what the fuck is going to happen, if somebody's going to punch you in the face, if somebody's going to be cool with the bit at the end of the day, things like that. It would make sense that you guys definitely get along. Was there ever a bit that didn't make it to air because you guys felt bad about it?
Felt bad about it?
Yeah.
Like, no. The closest we came, that's an interesting twist on the question. The question we get every single day is, the bits you shot and you can't get on TV or whatever it is. But a bit that we didn't air because we felt bad.
Correct. And I'll tell you why I asked this. I did a show for MTV, and it was one of those things where you're in character, you take cameras in, whatever. We interviewed this old couple for an hour and a half, and they had no idea about the bit, nothing whatsoever. And we were stuck in characters, and it sucked. I felt so awful. I called the producers, and I was like, "You've got to pull that. I feel terrible making these people look like assholes on TV." It was called the Barnes Brothers.
What was the show?
Barnes Brothers on MTV. The guy's name was Clayne Crawford, who was my co-star from Lethal Weapon. He was in Lethal Weapon. He was Riggs in Lethal Weapon. And like when we finally got out of this guy's house, I felt so horrific about what we had done to these old people and like duped these old people that I made them pull it. I'm curious if there was ever one bit where you were like, all right, these guys were not fucking cool with this.
Got it. You know, the show doesn't really work that way. Obviously, we're not trying to prank people. We're actually the butt of the joke, right? So it's the upside down version of what you think. We're actually being made into fools, not the public, right? That being said, the only time I can think of where the show was stopped down while the guys had a side conversation about whether or not they could go through something was a punishment against me. There was an episode where they took me to like a barbershop, and we're literally about to film the intro for the bit. I'm assuming they're going to give me a stupid haircut or something, I don't know, dumb, like they did in the pilot episode. And the director literally says, action. And Q steps off camera and says, stop, cut. We can't do this. I don't know. Keep in mind, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So he pulls Sal and Joe over and says, and I hear them whisper in the corner, clearly having a pretty substantial debate about what they are about to do to me. I had no idea, right? And Q's pacing back and forth like he's like, I can't, we can't do this. It's too much. We can't do it. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? What are they about to do to me? I'm like, I don't know, right? And they come back. They clearly talk him into it. And he says, action. And they'll sort of start filming. And then they shaved off my eyebrows and made me get a driver's license with my eyebrows, right?
This is right before. Isn't this right before you guys went to London?
It is literally one day before we flew across the seas to film an entire episode in the UK, right? So I have not a shred, not a wisp of hair. And then the day we got back from the UK, only a week later, we finished the episode, we fly right back. I go right back down to Virginia to visit my family. I was my nephew's confirmation sponsor in church, right? It was like 100 people in this church. Every kid in the school recognizes me. All the parents recognize me. Yet I was just completely bald. My whole eye, everything, my face. I looked fucking crazy.
I got two things on that. One, did you at all ever consider getting Chola eyebrows tattooed on? That's question one.
We did. Dude, in the UK, it wasn't on TV. You can't find it. We used to tour with this video. When we were in the UK, we had our makeup artist draw fake eyebrows on me. And I had to act in whatever emotion she drew on my face. And we filmed it. It was like a sketch we used to show on tour, like 2 tours ago. It was so funny.
Oh, that's good. My second one is, I'm pretty sure that Q wasn't necessarily concerned about you. He was more concerned about retribution, probably, right? Like, this is too far.
I think he thought it was crossing the line because, look, not everything grows back well anymore. So who knows if my eyebrows are going to grow back. I never shaved. It took 3 months to grow back. And the weird part, like I was still living in Manhattan at the time, and I'm commuting back and forth all over the place in the subways, right? The weird part was like a month and a half in, just like little strands of eyebrows were starting to come back. So people didn't know whether I was sick and was getting better or was on a bender that was getting worse or something. Like I was in this weird in-between phase of I just looked strung out for like the middle couple of weeks. I looked strung out on something. It was bad.
Now, if you're going to – I know you guys have to have some level of secrecy about the punishments for one of the other guys, but – if you're doing something like that, do they usually try to, like something that's going to affect the way you appear, do they try to do it towards the end of the season so it doesn't carry on through the rest of the season, or do it at the beginning so it's a joke the whole season? You know what I mean?
We had this idea. I was willing to do it. We never did it. They wanted, without any explanation between seasons, to give me a full, like, Bosley hair restoration. Right? The whole thing, my hairline would be like here. It would be spectacular, right? I would look like my high school self again, and we would never acknowledge it. And then we start filming the next season, and I just look like I have a thick, luxurious head of hair. And then eventually, when the series ends, they would announce that it was all a punishment for the show. They forced me to get my hair redone. And I thought it was a great idea.
That is.
I also wanted the TV show to pay for hair restoration for me.
It's expensive, dude. Yeah, people don't understand. It's costly.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't always work. Ask LeBron James about that.
I know. But sometimes it doesn't take, dude.
You did have to wear Q's hair around for a while. That must have been.
I did. It's around here somewhere.
You still have it? Oh, my God.
It's through my passport, dude. It's if I can find it, I'll show you. My passport still has Q's hair.
So for those who don't
the
watch,
passport lasts for 10 years?
10 years, yeah. For those who don't watch the show, one of the punishments that Murr had to go through was Q had long hair, maybe just short of the length at the time. They shaved it off, turned it to a wig, and he wore it for the entire season. Now, Q's got a bunch of cats and stuff, so I can't imagine he also drinks a lot of whiskey. Yeah. So it's like whiskey and cat smell, mostly.
Oof.
Yeah. He's looking for it.
So we had a Memorial Day party this weekend, and we tried Jameson Orange for the first time.
Oh, how was it?
It was really good. We polished up the whole bottle. It was great. You know,
Jameson
I'm a
Orange.
pretty whiskey fan myself, so.
Are you pulling it out right now? What are you pulling out of there?
I think is this it? Yep, got it. It was in the lockbox. Let me hide my personal information if you don't mind.
You keep his.
You had to wear that shit for what, 3 months probably while you guys were recording?
6 months through the New York City summer, man. It was the worst.
Oh, those summers are brutal too.
Yeah.
People don't realize it's
humid as shit.
I know, dude.
God, it's like heavy. It's heavy hot.
I wasn't allowed to wash it, and the wig cost us $10,000 to make. We had like the country's best wig maker, like sew it back together, strand by strand, in the exact follicle order. It was on Q's head. $10,000, and he still couldn't get out the smell of pot and whiskey.